A lot of people get into backyard chickens thinking they're gonna save money on eggs, and that's really not the truth.
And there are 6 more myths that people believe, and some of them might even be harmful to your chickens.
Oh, there goes 10 bucks. So if you're like the rest of the world, you saw egg prices rise up like crazy over the last few years. As of Feb 25, they were about $4.95 a dozen nationally, which is quite high historically. So you may have thought, okay, well, I'm going to just get my own hens and I'll save a bunch of money that way. And it ends up not really being the truth, but I'll tell you why that doesn't matter at the end. But let's run the numbers. 500 to 700 bucks to get a coop set up. Just even a basic coop setup for someone like Lobster to munch on these little treats here. And then you've got feed costs. That can be $20 to $50 a month, depending on how many hens and what kind of feed you use. You've got some vet visits here and there, supplements, and any of the incidental costs. It turns out that you would have to start seeing egg prices go to about $6.50 to $9.50 a dozen for it to be cheaper to have backyard chickens as opposed to just buying organic eggs from the grocery store. Now, there are ways to keep these costs down. Number one would be do not buy a coop that is more than you need for the hens that you are planning to keep. If you want to have 3-4 hens, you do not need a coop the size of the one that I have here. You can also DIY a coop. Jacques on the team did that, and he's got a pretty fantastic coop for about 6 hens that didn't cost him very much money. Of course, it cost him some time to put that coop together. You can also supplement the feed that you give them with garden scraps. That's one of the most beautiful parts about having chickens and a garden, is that they interplay very well together. And another thing you should avoid doing is having any roosters in your flock, but it's not for the reason you might think.
There's some weird myth out there that people think you absolutely have to have a rooster if you want your hens to lay eggs. And that is true, kind of. That is true only if you want to get fertile eggs. That is, if you're trying to hatch your very own chicks and raise your own flock from eggs, you definitely need a rooster to make that happen. But here's the thing. These hens will lay regular eggs no matter what. It doesn't require the rooster at all. And the other thing about it is that in a residential area like I am right now, I am literally not even allowed to have a rooster because they are so loud. They are considered a nuisance in the neighborhood. They will do their little morning calls. They'll also do calls throughout the day. But there is one reason why you might want to actually have a rooster for your flock, and that is if you live somewhere maybe out in the country and you have a large flock that you're trying to protect from predators, that rooster is ride or die for his flock of hens. He will fight off anything to the end, no matter what, to protect his little harem of hens. And that includes hawks 2 to 3 times the size. That's no problem. So you definitely don't need a rooster if your main goal is to produce eggs, but is it worth it in the end anyway? Because these guys, they could be a little bit messy.
I've heard a lot from people who are thinking about getting backyard hens that they don't want to because the hens are gonna be loud and they're gonna be very messy. This is the indoor run of my coop. There's some feathers on the floor. I don't think we've cleaned this in at least a couple months, and this is pretty mild, I would say. As far as noise, the hens are clucking a little bit, probably because they want a bit of these treats, which I'll talk about in a second. But for the most part, especially without a rooster, your hens are going to be quieter than the average dog. Every now and then you'll have a dramatic hen. In my case, that's Chetty right there, my silver-laced Wyandotte. She's the one clucking most of the time. You can hear her. She knows she's being called out. But even then, they're pretty mild most of the time. You will hear what's called their egg song. When they're laying their eggs, they make a little bit more noise. That'll happen maybe every day or so for each hen. But again, they're not that loud and they are not that messy. Most of the time you see them, they're preening, they're dust bathing. The animal itself is quite clean. This is Cortada right here. Come here, girl. Look at her. She is very clean and tidy, even though she doesn't really want to be held, which is totally fine. The only thing I will say is odor control can be a bit of an issue sometimes, specifically in the hen house where they roost at night. But if you use methods like the deep litter method, even that is not a problem at all, which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Grubbly Farms. Both Jacques and I have been using Grubbly Farms products to keep our hens since the entire history of us having hens, so about 4 or 5 years now. And we love basically everything they've ever put out. This is their hemp bedding. It's pesticide free. It has way less dust than straw or other common types of bedding. And this is the one we use for the deep litter method I mentioned, where you go about 12 to 14 inches deep with the hemp bedding. That allows you to not have to clean the bedding section of your hen house out more than once every year or sometimes even longer, which makes it fantastic for coop maintenance and odor control. Then we use their hemp nesting pads in the egg hutch so that we don't have to have any cracked eggs, and it's just a nice soft landing for those eggs that do get laid in that area. Although if you're my hens, you're picking anywhere but the egg hutch to lay your eggs. And then there's the feed options that Grubly has. We love the Freshpec's layer feed in the crumbles style. That's where all the ingredients are crumbled together. And it's just amazing because it's got 16% protein. The main protein source is black soldier fly larvae meal, which is super high in calcium. It is corn-free, soy-free, and fish-free, and it's non-GMO. So they're getting exactly what they need and then some with this feed. And then there's these. Watch what happens when I throw these into the run. There they come. These are the Hometown Harvest Grublies, the little feed treats, and this just dried black soldier fly larva, 50 times more calcium than mealworms, gives them everything they need to create strong, healthy eggs with very robust shells. And you can get 30% off your first order with Grubly Farms with just the code EPIC. Type it in at checkout, you get 30% off. Pretty nice little discount. They're our official chicken feed and supply sponsor here at EPIC. We love them. And now, on to the next myth.
You might be thinking that by getting a couple chickens, you're gonna get a couple eggs every single day. But here's the truth. Eggs are not happening every single day. A hen will produce about 250 eggs at its peak for a peak laying breed. And then every year after that, their amount of production will decrease. In fact, the first 2 years are the most productive. After that, the peak production is going to drop to about 70% of its max. And there's not really much you could do about it. It's just the way that nature works. So what does actually contribute to the eggs being produced? Well, first, there's breed. That's one of the most important. Some are just simply going to lay more than others. After that, it's things like your feed, anxiety, stresses from like heat or cold. But oddly enough, the most important thing is actually photoperiod, aka how much sunlight they're getting every single day. Very similar to plants. The more sun they get, the more they produce. So generally, you'll see that all of the peak production is from spring up until fall, and then the winter time, you're not going to be getting that many eggs. So as the temperature drops, so will the egg production, and your hens might end up getting a little bit chilly.
A lot of the time you'll hear that it's just too cold where you live to keep hens because it gets below freezing and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and aren't the hens going to freeze to death? The truth is, hens actually suffer more from excess temperature rather than it being too cold. So what's actually going to kill a hen in the wintertime is not that the ambient temperature is low, it's that there's too much moisture in the air, and the draftiness, which of course would make it even colder for that hen, can cause frostbite, can cause the hen to actually freeze to death, but it's not because it's just simply too cold. So the way people try to solve this in, let's say, the hen house is they'll add heating lamps or they'll insulate the coop and make sure there's no airflow. Both of those are not only not good, but they're actually quite dangerous. In fact, heating or any sort of heating implement in an area like a hen house or a coop are one of the most common reasons for a coop to set fire, which of course is going to kill everything in that area and is very tragic and sad and totally avoidable. And also, preventing any airflow at all is a recipe for moisture to sit damp on hens during cold weather and contribute to their death. So what you can do is make sure there's adequate ventilation through the hen house at roost height. You can use nice wide roost bars. That lets a hen put its entire feet on the roost bar and then sit down over it to insulate it. If you're seeing some potential issues from cold, you can apply petroleum jelly to the hen's combs or sensitive areas to help protect. And you can also choose breeds that are a bit more cold tolerant. In fact, I have 2 Orpingtons, I have 1 Wyandotte, and there's another breed called a Plymouth Rock that are all quite tolerant of cool temps. So if you really are worried, maybe choose a breed and follow all the tips that I suggested.
When you're shopping for eggs at the grocery store, you might occasionally notice that a box will say vegetarian fed, and they're also charging you a premium for it. And what's ridiculous is that chickens are natural omnivores. Not only that, but research has shown that pasture-raised eggs, where the chickens could go outside, scratch up the dirt, eat a whole bunch of bugs, actually have 2.5 times more omegas than those fed a grain-only diet. In fact, the Grubly Freshpec's layer feed has 16% protein, and I'll show you exactly what that's made of. When it comes to feeding your hens, the most important thing is to ensure that you have a proper nutritionally balanced layer feed. This one reaches that by blending in dried soldier fly larvae and also oyster shells to supplement calcium, neither of which are vegetarian. And another fun thing to do with your chickens is to give them some scraps from your garden, and that's perfectly fine. try and just keep it to a minimum because we want to make sure they're getting all the protein and calcium that they need. Another fantastic and fun thing to do with your chickens is to let them loose in the yard. The first thing you'll notice they do is they'll kick up the dirt and look for bugs to eat because that is how they have always existed. They are true omnivores. But some people are a little bit scared of letting their chickens out on the loose because they don't know what they might run into.
This next one is not so much a true myth as it is potentially an overblown concern. It's that letting your hens out in the garden, as I've done many times, is going to attract tons of predators and they're all going to get murdered by Mother Nature, so to speak. The truth is, it's just a little bit overblown. A lot of the predators that are around, raccoons, opossums, skunks, hawks, coyotes, they're around regardless of if you have those backyard hens or not. And if you properly protect your coop by using what's called a predator apron on the bottom of the coop. Now, this is where it does get a little bit annoying because the terminology is weird. You would think chicken wire will prevent pests from coming in to eat chickens. It's actually a little bit too flimsy. What you want to be using is something called hardware cloth. I don't know why it's called chicken wire. It just shouldn't be called that because it's not a great use case for protecting your flock. But what you'll do is at the base of your coop, you'll put a 3-foot apron of hardware cloth buried in the soil, maybe an inch or so. That means that any digging pest, an opossum, a skunk, cannot dig under and get into your indoor run and even potentially your hen house. So that's how you protect them when they're in the coop. But when they're out here, I'll often keep them out with heavy maintenance, a nice eye. Maybe I'm spending the whole day in the garden, transitioning it from spring to summer or summer to fall or winter to spring. That's a great time to have them out for the weekend, hanging out with them, enjoying their presence, allowing them to feast without them actually mucking up the garden because there's nothing really there that you care about anymore. So I find it to be a very enjoyable and great way to connect with the hens, feel like they're part of the space. And as long as you properly protect them while they're out and inside of the coop, you're not gonna run into too many predator issues.
So while there are a lot of misconceptions about raising backyard chickens, we don't want to let that stop you from actually doing it.
No, there's so many amazing benefits. I mean, yeah, the eggs are technically more expensive, but you're getting so many different benefits for the hens being in your space, even just psychological.
And they also taste better anyway.
Yeah, the eggs are dramatically better, not only from a taste perspective, but literally nutritionally, they are even better, I would wager, than a pasture-raised egg you'd find at the grocery store.
I agree, full stop.
Because even those are produced sometimes in somewhat questionable ways. If you want food security, you know exactly what you're getting out of your own backyard eggs. If you want to get started, there is a video we produced right here, everything you need to know before you get backyard hens. Again, thanks to Grubly Farms for sponsoring this video. You can check them out in the description with a little coupon code. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Good luck in the garden and keep on growing.